I thought I'd be able to review this one on the run, but it's snowing here in Vancouver, so I'm staying warm in the studio. I'm talking about Final Fantasy XV, and it's kind of appropriate that it's snowing and kind of a winter wonderland out there, because this feels like a big old Christmas present from Square Enix. This is a wonderful game, and I'm not that surprised because I've had some hands-on time with this game over the last year or so. And I enjoyed it. I think of it as a kitchen sink game, and it feels like an, all the chips in the middle of the table type of game from Square Enix. It looks expensive, it feels expensive, it plays expensive. It's a beautiful experience. It has a kind of formulaic, kind of, overarching story of a prince that's trying to reclaim his throne, marry the one that he's supposed to, and bring back the good into this land that has been overcome by an evil, oppressive, empirical force. But what makes this game different are a few things. First of all, you're going to notice that it's a big open world adventure, so it's clear that the developers at Square Enix have been paying attention to massive open world games like Dragon Age or Skyrim, and wanting to sort of play in that playing field and sort of raise their game up to that level and that par. And it was pretty gutsy to take the Final Fantasy sort of core experience and explode it wide open like that. It doesn't work maybe as effortlessly or as flawlessly as something like a Dragon Age or a Skyrim. It feels a little clunky as you're navigating from area to another area, particularly when you're driving in your big beast of a car, which handles so poorly. I always actually prefer to just go on autopilot and just sit back and watch my four dude bros kind of hang out and chill together. And that brings up a good point about what makes this game unique. And I feel like there is so much fantastic voiced acting and dialogue between the four main characters of Noctis, who's the character that you play, but you've got a bunch of brothers that you love, that you go and face all kinds of crazy evil with and get into all kinds of high adventure with. You've got Gladiolus, who's this big bruiser type dude who prefers to wear a jacket and no shirt, show off his midsection, kind of like the way I do in the summertime. Then he's got Prompto, who's a shutterbug who likes taking pictures of stuff, and of course you can share those on your social medias. He's funny and crazy and scared all the time. But I like Ignis, who is kind of like the Hugo Weaving, at least with the English voiceovers. He's kind of the Hugo Weaving character. He's very droll. He's got kind of a droll British kind of accent. He's always the wise one. He's always got that final say on comments, and he feels like the older brother of these four brothers. I love their relationship. People have called this thing like a J-pop simulator, and it's just filled with sort of, this fashion-flavored, kind of androgynous-leaning kind of look to these characters, which is, honest, let's be honest here, that's a Final Fantasy kind of touchstone, I think. That kind of look and style and flourish for all their character designs and costume designs. I loved it. I loved the way that they embrace it. I love the way that these characters poke fun at each other. I like the fact that Prompto actually sings the Final Fantasy Achievement Unlocked song, and they're making fun of each other the entire time. I like that they're concerned and scared and comforting as they go into dungeons and start to battle against enemies together. I thought all of that stuff was fantastic. I really dug it. Even if the story itself wasn't that enthralling, getting into the story with these characters heightened all of that tremendously. And I thought, Square and the collection of writers and actors that they assembled to put all of this stuff together have to be applauded. Really, really dug that. I also really liked the combat in this game, which is kind of real-time and definitely action-oriented. It does feel a little, like it's leaning in the direction of something like Devil May Cry. It's not that tuned, of course, but you've got lots of weapons at your disposal. You can actually have, 4 weapons called up at the same time, and that includes using a shield or using magic. And you just press the D-pad on Noctis and call up all of these different weapons. You unlock lots of cool weaponry, of course. You're actually finding a bunch of swords and daggers and javelins and long swords and shields and stuff that are all held in these tombs by these long dead legendary kings. And I loved all of those sequences. And you can call all of those weapons up and just start hacking and slashing your way to all kinds of fun that way. Of course, you've got magic spells that you can call. You can craft new magical abilities. You can summon giant beasts that will come in and take care of a lot of the bigger boss enemies that you're going to fight. Those feel a little cutscene-y though when you press that L2 button and then boom, you're just watching all kinds of magic happen above you. The AP points sort of, you work your way through a skill tree. You give yourself all kinds of buffs and defensive abilities. You can, augment your weaponry a little bit through the AP system as well. And then, you're basically leveling up and purchasing your way to be able to fight these giant monstrosities. And that's another place where this game excels, is in the character designs, and the creature designs are phenomenal. I mean, I was battling giant armored iron black knights and huge dragons that spouted electricity all over the place. Final Fantasy has never been a slouch in the, the enemy department, but there's something truly magical about the epic scope and scale and the pivot the camera in any direction kind of ness of this game. It is, I think, a tremendous success for Square Enix. I know that this is going to be a bit divisive. I know that there's going to be a lot of Final Fantasy purists and diehards that miss the turn-based, that maybe miss a little bit more of the led-by-the-hand minutiae of previous Final Fantasy games. But I think the team that worked on this game really worked hard to make a game that would honor longtime fans of Final Fantasy, give them something different to play in this franchise, but also bring in lots of new players. And I think that's exactly what's happened. This is already a tremendous success at retail. I think there's been a ton of hype and a ton of good word of mouth around this game already. And I think that it is incredibly accessible. I've been getting a lot of questions this past week if this is a game for people that have never played a Final Fantasy game or have dropped out from the series for a long time, and I say yes, absolutely. It's not going to play exactly like a Western RPG, but there's enough kind of familiar there, and there's enough foreign there, and also enough that blends in a lot of the Final Fantasy tropes and the fun all into this fantastic kitchen sink, everything but the kitchen sink kind of experience. Another place where this game stands out, and it kind of has to stand out, is the music. I mean, the voice acting and all that stuff is fantastic, but then it really comes to life with the unbelievably sumptuous music. I think this is a great game. I think this is one of the best games of 2016. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, and if you're an RPG fan, you got to get this one. Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.